Hey everybody, Chris Bennett again here from Bennett Motorsports Supports, back from a work trip. Took the red eye in last night. Before I left, I did take the electronic brake control module out of the Corvette. We have shipped that off to get rebuilt. I did have to go get another tool to make it a little bit easier to get those two middle bolts out. It was a bit of a struggle bus, but we got it done and it is shipped out. When that gets back, hopefully reinstall that. That will solve the ABS and the traction control problem we were having, hopefully. If not, we'll have to dig into that a little bit more carefully. Also ordered some more products. I'm gonna go ahead and open those up. I'm gonna back the Corvette up to the garage here and start looking at putting the harness back in, getting the seat back in the car, and then looking at putting the driver's seat in as well. Stick with us while we go through some more of these projects. We keep making progress from day to day. Last week we did clean the car up quite a bit. We got the passenger seat installed, but we have since taken that seat back out so we can put the harnesses in it. And then I've got another mount for the driver's seat. Hopefully it's going to be a slider. We're going to unbox that here in a second, along with some of the other things that have come in. All right, so what we got here is our slider, the seat that it's going to mount to, hopefully. And we've got these brackets here that was a solid mount that would be preferred for the driver's side, but we're going to see if we can make this slider work just for more convenience on the driver development car here. That way we can adjust the seat based on whoever's in the seat at that time or going around the track learning that. We're gonna put in a 5-point harness. They do have 6-point harnesses as well, but you can see it's called a 5-point because it has 5 points. 2 for the shoulders, 2 for the lap, and 1 between legs. And so we're gonna install this in the car with the harness bar and make sure that it's securely mounted, keep you in place while we're out racing the car. All right, so what we have here is we have our race seat that's ready to go in. This was the solid mount bracket that I wanted to use for the driver's side, but it does make it very difficult to adjust based on the driver's height and ability to reach the pedals. So I've ordered this slider in that allows us to adjust it. And I've talked about this previously, not preferred in a race car scenario. However, for HPDEs and just learning track events, I think this will be sufficient. We're gonna take a good look at this. I've used this for years in other cars, never had a problem. Obviously in Brian, the yellow race car, we have fixed seats 100%. But we do have a lot of safety here. We're also gonna put this 5-point harness in, mounted to the harness bar that we installed the other day. And it's got all the belts there that we're gonna make sure are securely mounted in the car for anyone that's driving that car. And then we'll open this box up here as well to see what we got in the mail. We need to do a lot of work. So Black Betty behind me has never been a race car. It's been a street car its entire life. And so that's what we're doing, is we're basically getting it prepped and ready for safe and effective racing on the track. And so there's a lot of things that go into that. You're gonna spend quite a bit of money getting your own car ready and just being fully prepped. But that said, most street cars, if they're in relatively good condition, you can just take it on the track the way it is for an HPDE 1. Great way to learn, great way to get started. You don't need any of this special safety equipment because BMS is a business and we are renting the car out and we're giving folks rides. We wanna make sure that you're safe as possible. Plus we have years of experience doing this and we know what it takes as far as safety, what is the best thing to do. So we're investing in that for any of you that come and join and drive with us. So, all right, let's open this box up and see what we got. All right, looks like a lot of the fluids that I ordered up have come in that we need to go through the car and make sure that everything is in tip-top shape and ready to go so we don't hurt anything. So a couple things here. I don't know any of the history on Black Betty behind me. I don't know the last time the fluids were changed. I do know at one point it was used for some track, but prior to that, I think it's mostly been a street car. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put some of this Royal Purple Synchromax, and everybody has their own flavor of what they like to use for fluids and oils and those types of things. So these things have worked for me, and so in my opinion, they will continue to work for me. I'm happy to try other things as well, and I definitely listen to the advice of those who have experience other than mine. But for me, I've always had positive experience. So for the transmission, we're gonna go with the Royal Purple Synchromax. That seems to work pretty well. We're gonna put this Valvoline Advanced Gear Oil 7590 in the rear end. And then for oil, I tend to like this Mobil 1 Supercar 0W40. Seems to work pretty well for me. Pretty happy with that. So we've got a lot of that. So we'll be going through both changing the oil, trans, and rear end fluid just to make sure the first time we take Black Betty on the track that it's topped off with new stuff and it's been serviced and ready to go That way it eliminates any question of what could be in there, and it just gives us peace of mind while we're on the track. All right, so stay tuned. Gonna get some of this stuff unboxed. We're gonna look at the slider, see if that's gonna work for us. And then we'll start putting this harness in and get ready to get the seats fully mounted in the car with a full set of belts ready to go on track. One other part hiding in here that I didn't see initially, and what this is a battery tray hold down. And so it's a pretty generic one. We're gonna have to fabricate a little bit to make sure that the battery's in there nice and secure. For a lot of HPD events, again, a lot of this is overkill for just HPDE. The standard battery hold down, the little rubber piece that goes down on the bottom with the, I think it's a 10 mil socket, is sufficient. However, I do like to be a little overkill on some of these things, so we're gonna go ahead and put this battery mount hold down in there as well. It's over the top for the battery, so. So Jaden's finishing up right now, putting the last few nuts on the studs for the driver's side seat. We've got the harness bar in, we've got our 5-point harness installed. Everything's looking pretty good. Then we'll have an adjustable seat on the driver's side. So for the passenger seat, we're using stud extenders that you can buy. I looked around, they're actually out of stock a lot. For the seat mount we used on that side, we ended up not needing them, but on this side we definitely need the stud extenders, which we have, and that will allow us to install the AMT seat mount, and it'll be a flush mount, nice and secure, and we'll have our 5-point harness installed as well, with the belts looped around the harness bar in the back. All right, so we're gonna try again. So the bolt was sticking down, and so the threaded side of it was hitting the bottom of the floor, so the seat mount wouldn't sit flush. Flip that around, put it facing the other way, trial and error. Hopefully this time it gets in there and it sits flat. Look at that, everybody's ours. That's a win. All right, it's sitting a lot further back, which is nice. All right, we got both seats in, harnesses are all hooked up. Certainly not gonna win any beauty contests, but it does look a lot better than it did, and functionally is gonna make for a very nice ride on the track, keep you bolted in nice and secure, which also helps when you're trying to learn how to drive a car on the road course for the first time. So passenger and driver seats in. Got the harness bar with 5-point harness. Ready to go.